Welcome back to the CBB Talk with your boy Will Dickinson, and we got another Friday weekend preview, a little bit of a recap, mostly a weekend preview episode. So let's get into it real quick. We had a couple good, notable outcomes, one involving my team, but we'll start with UConn destroying Providence. UConn, remember in the beginning of the year, this is one of the best teams in the nation. They were at one point, I think, ranked number 2 in the AP poll, and then they got on a little bit of a cold streak, and they're playing way better recently. We saw a big game from Jordan Hawkins at 20 in this one, but it was just a team performance. Caravan 16, Sanogo 16, Tristan Newton 12, and Providence has struggled in this one. I don't have a this doesn't change my opinion on Providence too much. Bryce Hopkins just didn't have a good game, kind of struggling this one. Good defense. I mean, Andre Jackson's one of the best defenders in the country. So if he got some of that assignment there, he did an amazing job on them. And yeah, UConn's still a really good team. I think they are the second best team in the Big East right now, behind Marquette. They have potential to make a Final Four run, and I think they will get a top 4 seed in the NCAA tournament. And right now I have UConn at 16 and Xavier's at 17. I dropped Providence to 23 and Marquette's at 8. So yes, I think UConn's the second best team in the Big 12, and I mean in the Big East, and they're playing like that right now. Good to see him get back on track, and Dan Hurley's team's doing an amazing job after struggling for a couple weeks early in Big East play and getting back to that time where they can be a contender for the Big East tournament and a national title. So that's really good to see. We also had, of course, we'll just get to it, Virginia. My Cavaliers took a bad loss real quick. I gotta sneeze. All right, so sorry, had to sneeze. Virginia scored 48 points against Boston College. Ooh, what to say about that? It was kind of due. I was talking about this, I think last episode was about Virginia is a team where I thought they were kind of getting a little overrated. We are a team that plays amazing defense, but we struggle to score times, and we'll go through points in games where we don't score for 5 minutes. In this one, it was just not a good performance at all. We made a total of 4 threes, and our leading scorer, Jane Gardner, had 16 points. It was good. Got to the free throw line only 8 times in this one, and they got there only 7. So it wasn't the fact that we were fouling a lot. It wasn't the fact that they scored 80 points. They only scored 63 in this one, and they just outplayed us. It was a team effort by Boston College, and they just shut us down offensively, which is not that hard of a challenge. Kia Clark 3 for 11 and Armin Franklin 2 for 10. You can't have those performances. And it shows that Virginia is definitely susceptible of playing down to their competition. It's what they do all the time. I was saying that I think 2 episodes ago, or last episodes, that they played down. We saw against Louisville, we saw against Notre Dame, and now we see it actually affect in the outcome and losing a game to BC, a sub 500 team on the road there. So Virginia, I dropped them, I think, down to 14th. Make sure, yeah, 14th, and now they're second behind Miami in my rankings, which I think, yeah, Miami's a better team. They got more firepower, they're more consistent, and Virginia's got. Hopefully, this was a wake up call for the Cavaliers, because that was a concerning performance. Only putting up 48 points against a not good team is concerning. One of the other stories from Wednesday night, of course, was this Alabama situation. I don't want to get too much into, but it was like, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of laughed when I look at this score. I was watching a little bit of the game, right? I'm watching. It was going into overtime. I watched the last couple of minutes, and Brandon Miller was him. 41 in this one. The next highest score had 10 points. Brandon Miller scored 41 points. The rest of the team had 37. So I think he took all this news coming out personally. He had 6 threes. The rest of the team had 1. That's crazy. That is crazy. That the rest of the team had 1 3. He had 6. He had 7 free throws, 14 for 25, over 50% shooting. and 41 points, man. He's a special player. I do not know what's come out. If this stuff is true, if what will happen, but man, if I was an NBA GM and if this was just a simple mistake, this dude should be a top 3 pick in the draft. He's 6'10", shoots the ball an efficient clip, and can do everything out there on the court. He's super long, 41 points there. South Carolina put up a good fight, but Alabama holds on, gets the win there. It's probably been a couple tough days for the Tide, and they saw that they got a win there. Kentucky keeps winning. I like the way they're going. They should be firmly in the tournament at this point, getting a road win against Florida. We had Houston dominate. I think they're the best team in the country. North Carolina got a much-needed win after a terrible first half, being down 8, came out there and gets a 4-point win at Notre Dame. They're still out of the tournament, in my opinion. And NC State keeps proving that they're one of the best offensive teams in the country. And Jarkel Joyner might be one of the best transfers in the country. Also, New Mexico took a tough loss there. Boise State looking like they'll be a tournament team for sure. Couldn't say the same thing about New Mexico, who was the last undefeated team left this year. Last night wasn't a lot of great games going on. I went to a high school basketball game, so I wasn't really watching too much. I went to my school's game in the playoffs. Took a tough loss. Illinois beats Northwestern, though. It's a tough Northwestern game. I mean, you are up 18 at half, and then you just lose the game. That's not good. But 62 points, and Boo Buie, he is really good. 35 in this one. I want to see him in the tournament. Another guy I want to see in the tournament is Jalen Pickett. I mean, this dude's a point guard who plays like a center. He kind of does everything out there. It was kind of like a David Roddy from last year, but I think this dude has maybe not as good NBA potential, but you can see him out there, and he dominates the game for Penn State. And Boo Buie's doing the same thing right now for Northwestern. Had 35 in this one, but no one else really stepped up. Good win for Illinois to keep. I think right now they've been 8-9 seed. Just keep winning. Illinois. Terrence Shannon is back. He had 26 in this one, so a good game there from TSJ. St. Mary's dominating win before, going on the road to play Gonzaga this weekend. We'll get into that in a little bit. And that was really just it. There wasn't a lot of other interesting results from yesterday. Michigan upsets Rutgers to keep their tournament hoops alive. Rutgers got to start winning more games, because if not, they'll be on the bubble like last year, where they had to play in the first 4 game, and they could be on track to do the same thing that they did on last year, what they had to do. So we'll get into this preview stuff on Friday. Today is really just Xavier playing. They lost yesterday on the Friday, or last week on the Friday to Butler. Now they go at Seton Hall. That'll be a tough one. We're seeing the Sun Belt kind of wrap up their regular season as they go into tournament play. We get conference tournament starting next week, which is fun. Everyone loves conference tournament season. I mean, you're always good to see, teams starting to clinch their spot and get to the dance. They'll go dancing, and it's always fun to see the smaller schools get their chance at glory, like St. Peter's did last year. And then the major conferences this weekend, you got this is the second to last weekend there, and they're just trying to submit themselves, get off that bubble, or hurt themselves and get on the wrong side. We can start with Saturday. Let's just go through some of these games that are all right. Clemson at NC State. Clemson needs a win here to get them into the tournament, I would say. Creighton on the road, Villanova. Villanova's going to try to play spoiler in the Big East tournament, and they're playing good recently. Let's see if they can get another ranked win here. Michigan State, Iowa. Both those teams looking for a win. Michigan State got a good one earlier this week. Iowa lost to Wisconsin, I believe. So let's see if Iowa can get a win there. And of course, Big 12 always delivers with games. Oklahoma at Iowa State. Oklahoma's not going to make the tournament this year. Iowa State will. Can they get back on the winning train? We'll see. TCU has to go at Tech. Texas Tech win this game. I think they'll be in the tournament. I think they've won 4 or 5 in a row. Now they're playing really good basketball. Lubbock is going to have to bring it for Mike Miles-led TCU team, who's trying to avoid back-to-back losses and maybe stay in the rankings. We got Arizona State at Arizona. Arizona State is a interesting resume. They're 19-9 overall. With they lost to Colorado at home. That's a tough loss. There'll be a fringe bubble team here, and if they could get a win against Arizona on the road, that would be a huge one there. But I'm assuming that Arizona is going to get this one done. A great matchup is Arkansas, Alabama. Nick Smith playing really good recently in his first couple games back. And of course, you got Alabama and Brandon Miller, assuming he's playing there. It's a great freshman matchup there. Two teams that have been playing really good of recent. And Arkansas, if they can get back to having Nick Smith for the rest of the season, they can make a run in the tournament. As they did in these last couple years. So that will be a great one at 2:00. Kansas State goes at Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's now dropped 2 in a row to keep their bubble chances alive. A win at home would be necessary against a scorching hot. Two hard games in a row. Kansas State, who I got number 9 in my ranking, so that'd be a really good win for Oklahoma State. Another Big 12 one is Texas at Baylor. That's a good one. I think Texas is one of the best teams in the country. But you got to go at Baylor, who has the potential to do it. And, both these teams are good offensive teams, really good. And Baylor struggles a lot on the defensive end. So we'll see if Texas can, abuse that with Marcus Carr, Tyrese Hunter, Serge Rice off the bench. He has been really good. And we got Keontae George, who's been, amazing. And, of course, those guards at Baylor. If Texas gets a road win, I think it'll be Kansas, Texas next weekend for the Big 12 champion regular season title. Let's see if Baylor can get a nice home win here to keep, a 3 seed, 2 seed alive for them for the tournament. Auburn at Kentucky. That's another amazing game. Auburn is just, I don't know about Auburn, man. I don't know if they're really the real deal. They will beat Ole Miss earlier this week, but they've lost 3 of their last 5 games, and they haven't won a road game in a while. And they have to go at Kentucky, who's playing really good. I think Kentucky's going to get the job done there. I would be surprised if Auburn get a road win, because Kentucky, I love the way they're playing. Cal's got them playing really good. Kansas plays West Virginia. Kansas should get this one done after winning early on Monday, so they have a big break as they walk into this last week of Big 12 play. Oh, man. Virginia has to go after a loss to Boston College, go on the road against a UNC team who's fighting for their tournament chances in this one. UNC, of course, you're going to have Duke next week, so this is the game for UNC where they got to win this one. A loss here would hurt for sure, because now I think if you lose this one, you're playing for your tournament hopes against Duke going into the ACC tournament. And I think if you lose this one and then lose to Duke, you're going to have to win the ACC tournament. So this game for UNC is so important. We saw that Virginia did beat them at home with Baycott getting injured in the first couple minutes of the game. The offense for Virginia is not good. It's not good, but we had the defense to keep up with an RJ Davis and the Caleb Love. But we'll see how we handle Baycott, because we love to go small with Vanderplas and Gardner out there at the same time. We're going to need to have Kane Shedrick step up there. Virginia's just trying not to drop 2 in a row. It looks unlikely, but Carolina needs this one if they want to keep their tournament hopes, on the right side of the bubble, which that won't be a 6:00 on ESPN. I'll definitely be watching that one. 7:30 might be the best game of the weekend. Indiana going at Purdue. Purdue trying to get revenge on their rivals, after losing a couple weeks back in Indiana. This time they're home in West Lafayette. Zach Edey's looking for revenge. As Purdue teams played, not amazing recently, but a win here. Right now I think they're still on the 1 line. Don't drop this game. Indiana, coming off a loss earlier this week to Michigan State, not trying to drop 2 in a row there, and they're trying to stay on that five line. I think 4 line is where they're kind of at right now. I think last week they were on the 3 line, but no way after they've lost now 2 in a row. If they're trying not to lose 3 in a row, which I almost forgot about. They're trying not to lose 3 in a row. Virginia Tech goes at Duke. See if Duke can keep the winning streak alive. They're playing really good recently. They should beat Virginia a couple weeks back. And then the nightcap, where game day's at tomorrow. Maybe it might be the best game. St. Mary's, if they win the WCC outright. And if Gonzaga wins, they will share the title with St. Mary's on their home floor in the kennel. I expect a Gonzaga revenge game in this one. I have Gonzaga 10, St. Mary's 12. St. Mary's and Gonzaga are both lost. St. Mary's has lost one game in conference, and Gonzaga's lost 2 games in conference. Both teams have lost to LMU. Gonzaga lost to St. Mary's in their first matchup in an OT at St. Mary's. Now you got to go into the kennel. If St. Mary's wins this game, I think a season sweep of Gonzaga would put them inside the race to be a 4-3 seed. Gonzaga wins this game, they'll be back. And I expect Gonzaga, if they win this game, they still may be the 2 seed in the WCC tournament, but that doesn't really matter because the 1 and 2 seeds have like an insanely big advantage. They get like a 4-day, 3-round bye, and they automatically go to the semifinals. So it's an interesting bracket for the WCC, right? So both these teams will be the top 2 seeds in that conference tournament. But I expect Gonzaga to get this one done at home, but it will be an amazing atmosphere in Spokane, and expect Drew Timme and the Zags to come out there with revenge. And then you have a little Mountain West showdown: San Diego State, New Mexico. New Mexico needs to win this game to keep their hopes alive. San Diego State, man, they're the real deal in my opinion. The Aztecs playing great basketball of recent. Sunday, you have some decent games. Illinois at Ohio State. They put Ohio State on that CBS like every freaking Sunday, and just to lose. So that's it's getting cruel at this point, in my opinion. Just put them on there to lose. Northwestern at Maryland. Maryland plays really good at home. I expect them to win this game. Northwestern, after coming off trying to avoid back-to-back losses there, they'll be fringe ranked at this point if they win. Maryland's a team that plays bad on the road and really good at home. So we'll see if they can win this game at home, which I will expect them to do. They've lost 1 Big Ten game all season on the road. They haven't lost a Big Ten game in the season. They've lost 1 game. It was at UCLA when they came in. And then Wisconsin, Michigan, that's an all right game. Michigan win this one. You're tracking to be a bubble team. They have 12 losses right now. If they can finish the regular season with 13 and then play and win 1 or 2 games in the Big Ten tournament, I could see them making the tournament. A great turnaround so far by this team, who was definitely on the wrong side a couple weeks ago. They're creeping up is Michigan. Yeah, so that's it. I feel like that was a really quick episode, but there wasn't a lot to talk about. I mean, this weekend's a really good weekend. I'm most excited for Virginia and UNC, and then definitely Purdue and Indiana, because I think that St. Mary's Gonzaga game, I honestly think Gonzaga's going to get that one done. I would be shocked if St. Mary's can get a win on the road there. It's just so hard to go into the kennel and get a win. We saw LMU do it earlier this year. I don't see it happening twice in 1 year, but maybe it'll shock me. It'll prove me wrong. We will see. A good couple days. Get ready for the weekend. Only 2 left in regular season. And next week conference tournaments start, so that's always exciting. We're starting to ramp up here because once the regular season ends, we're going to do conference tournament predictions before the big ones start there, and we'll cover maybe each day. We'll see what we'll do when the conference tournament time comes, and then of course getting into the NCAA tournament, we're gonna have to ramp up this production, because guess what? It's the best time to be a college basketball fan, because tournament time is about to start. Get your bracket, start studying, and for the casual fans out there, this is the time you start paying attention to see who's the real deal before you fill out your bracket and start watching tournament games. All right, thanks for watching. Get ready for the weekend. Peace out.